Alright. Got audio lag. Hang on one second. Let me resync that. There we go. Alright guys, let's get started. Welcome to the Crazy Flyer channel. Today we're going to do a little bit of fun flying through some weather. We'll see if my computer's up to the task. And we're going to fly the TBM 900. We're going today from Bowling Green up to Chicago Midway. Both airports are currently under some rain and weather, so it'll give us some good practice, instrument conditions, all that good stuff in a relatively small airplane. Should be fun. We're just going to jump right on into it. And let's see, we already got the flight plan filed. We're going to get the airplane powered up. We're going to pick up our clearance from Memphis Center once we're out here short of the runway. But yeah, so really can't do anything. We don't have a GPU at this FBO, so we're just going to go ahead and we're just going to power up the airplane. Get it fired up, we'll taxi out, get our avionics set up, all that good stuff, and be on our way. Alright, airplane's coming to life. It has been a few weeks since I have flown the TBM, so I'm going to have a little bit of a knock a little bit of rust off here as we get going. Alright, checking the database. 24 February 22 is good. Get that to life. We got the engine instruments. Alright, let's see. We'll bring our nav lights on.
Aural warning, okay.
Alright, here we go, guys. Let's bring the ignition on. Fuel pump on and starting. Am I forgetting something?
Pause system test. Okay.
There we go. Now she's coming to life. Light off. There it is. And G-Rise, watching for a hot start, watching for a hung start. Looks like we got a good, cool start there. He's coming to life, props coming up. Oh, whoops. Nope, I did hot start it. I brought my, it's been forever since I've flown the other plane. I brought the, power lever up before it hit 52% NG. My bad. Gotta get back in this airplane again. Alright, generators online. Electrical, yeah, we're looking healthy. Let's bring the, now that's pulled up, let's bring the bleeds on. There we go. Get some lights going here. Oh, we are rolling too. My brake was not set as it should have been. I thought it was. It was a few minutes ago. I don't know what caused it to release. Oh man, guys, we're off to a good start. Alright, bring the airplane alive. Let's get some lights on here, see what we're doing. So we're going from Bowling Green up to Chicago Midway. So let's see. Oh yeah, that's right. This airplane. Gotta use controller down here. It doesn't have any of the buttons on the bezels. Alright, Bowling Green, we're going to go direct to the Fisk intersection, which is, let me pull up my release for you guys. F-I-S-S-K, F-I-S-S-K, enter, and then we're going to fly the Fisk for arrival into Chicago Midway. Select arrival. Oh, whoops, that helps. I gotta put the airport in. Yeah, I've been flying too many airliners lately. Forgotten how to work the G1000. Let's see, it's Kilo Mike Delta Whiskey. Come on. What's going on here? Here. I'll make life easier. Can we not scroll? What is going on here? Oh, it's because I'm trying to enter it. Okay. Kilo MDW. Kilo Mike. Delta Whiskey. There we go. And enter is down there. And then now we should be able to go procedure, select arrival. Oh, come on. There we go. I am struggling today, guys. Alright, arrival, we're going to be the Fisk 4. From Fisk, I guess we could just load in. I guess you have to load it in from OKK. And runway, I have no idea what's going on here. Let's take a look at current weather up there in Midway. Subject to change, obviously. 3 miles, light rain at 010. I'd guess they'd be landing on the 4s. Let's load 4 right in there for now. Okay, so that is in there. Now we need to delete out everything prior to Fisk. Or do we? Oh, okay. So yeah, we got Bowling Green, Fisk. And then it looks like it just picks up the arrival here. So yeah, Fisk. Here, let me zoom out a little bit on the map view there. We're just going to scroll through our flight plan. So yeah, Fisk, Veek, OZ, Azumo, Haley. Yeah, that's the arrival. Okay, we're good there. So we don't have to, I was afraid we were going to have to delete out some waypoints. That's as we want it. Flight plan is in there. Let's see, altitude for now. Hang on, guys, I gotta grab my joystick. Was in its proper spot on my desk. There we go. Let's say we're gonna set the altitude selector up. We'll go like 10,000 for now. Like I said, we gotta get a clearance from Memphis Center before we get underway. There we go. 10,000 is set. And let's take a look at the weather here out of Bowling Green. In fact, we can listen to it on through Active Sky on 122.0. Maybe. Oh, I don't even have Active Sky running. Hang on. That'll fix that. Get a quick weather reset here. There we go.
Kilo Bravo Whiskey Golf Airport information Charlie 1253 Zulu weather wind 194 at 16 gusting to 23 visibility 10 sky condition ceiling 1000 Kilo Bravo Whiskey Golf Airport information Delta 1553 Kilo Bravo
We didn't even
Whiskey
get an
Golf
altimeter out of
Airport
that.
information Echo 1553 Zulu weather wind 224 at 16 gusting to 27 visibility 7 sky condition ceiling 8,500 overcast moderate rain temperature 16 dew point 14 altimeter 29997 advise on initial contact you have information Echo.
That is not matching what I got here
Kilo
off
Bravo
of,
Whiskey Golf Airport information Echo
that's actually
1553
substantially
Zulu
different on the
weather
meter.
wind 224 at 16 gusting to 27 visibility 7 sky condition ceiling 8,500 overcast moderate rain temperature 16 dew point 14 altimeter 29997 advise on initial contact you have information Echo.
I mean, I guess Active Sky's pumping the weather in there, so we'll go with that. 29997.
Kilo
Sure. I don't know. I guess it's only, it would be less than 100 foot difference. Okay, we got that in there. Let's see. Let's keep getting the airplane set up here. Get the trims into the green band. We got the rudder trim a little off to the right, which is where we like it in the TBM. Flight director and takeoff mode. We got flaps set. Let's see, we got the bleeds on. Let's check our CAS here. Need to turn the inertial sep is on. So yeah, that's all normal. All right, so let's taxi out here. And so winds are out of the southwest. So let me take a look here. Probably runway 21 be our best option. So we'll taxi out runway 21, and while we're taxiing out, we'll get in contact with center and get our clearance. Got to find our way out of this hangar area here. Get the track IR. There we go. Never been to Bowling Green. I'm not familiar with this airport whatsoever. Hopefully we don't get too lost. Let's see, around 22.8 we are not. $22.8. There we go. What the heck? There we go. Bowling Green traffic, TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot, taxiing from the FBO to runway 21 Bowling Green. Alright guys, so we're gonna come out here, we'll make a left, we're gonna cross the runway. These aren't even labeled on the chart, so it's up to us to kind of figure out what taxiway they are, I guess. Info, you are feeling hot. Turn on the air conditioning or the cabin to cool off. Will do. Alright, we're crossing the runway. Clear left, clear right. Strobe up here real quick while we're crossing. The passengers in the back are so needy. Alright, give me a second. There we go. AC is on. We can turn strobe landing lights off, clear the runway now. Alright, and let's see, our center frequency. Oh, come on, I'll stop here in a minute and look at that. But I'm pretty sure our cabin should be sufficiently comfortable. Momentarily, we got the AC on, we got the bleed on, so it's providing air for the environmental system in the cabin here. Alright, 214 is our runway heading. Back to what we were doing. Let's see. Here by ATC, Memphis Center. So let's see, we're gonna swap over and we'll put them on one. Let's see, so we need to get ready to copy our clearance. We are going to Chicago Midway. Hopefully we don't get a reroute. We'll get up here just short of the runway. That way we're ready to go. Write down what information I do know. It's 13365 for his frequency. And he'll be our departure controller. And we were filed, what altitude did we file on this one? We were filed flight level 280. Okay. Once we're up here to the end runway, we'll come to a complete stop, and we will give him a call.
Back.
Pulse lights on? Oh, apparently. Alright, set the park brake, and let's give him a call.
Grid 1241, Rampia Hotel, Julia Lucia.
Memphis Center, good afternoon. TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot on the ground at Bowling Green, clearance to Midway.
Aircraft calling for French standby break. American 851 radar contact 66 miles east of Shelbyville via wire. You
I
said
think
you're
we
descending
filed,
data
didn't
right
we?
now?
Let me make sure that's filed.
Yes, I'm descending via the Swift 2 arrival.
851 descend via Swift 2 arrival heading south.
Yes,
the
it is on file.
National Altimeter 3010.
3012. American 8.
Apparently he's a little bit busy. Hopefully it doesn't take us too long to get our clearance to get out of here.
Who's that Bowling Green calling for bird?
That's TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot. I'd like to pick up IFR to Chicago Midway.
Dude, you guys calling for clearance, but you guys can't hear each other. The guy at Bowling Green, only the guy at Bowling Green, say again.
175 Charlie Foxtrot, TBM, clearance to Chicago Midway.
75 Charlie Fox, Shadow Northwest.
Roger. Well, this is what it's like sometimes flying out of small airports. It does take a minute to get a clearance sometimes.
Who's the other aircraft calling for clearance?
Especially on a day like this where it's real soupy, you know, everybody has to fly IFR.
1-1,
when it's,
Memphis,
weather like
Roger,
this.
on request.
So, the realism is through the roof.
Plus 674, plan the ILS runway 22 left approach.
Let's see, is there any departure procedures here at a Bowling Green? I don't think there was. Ah, there's not.
Plus 674, clear direct. Kitsko, Quebec, India, Tango, X-ray, Oscar. Cross Kitsko at about 2,500 at Kitsko for the ILS runway 22 left approach. Above 2,500, please. For 323 Golf Hotel, Memphis, squawk 1557. You say expected.
And we're waiting. We'll see. We'll give him a few more minutes, guys. Honestly, if it's going to take crazy
Number
long.
5 Charlie Foxtrot, Coincidental Lights, ready to copy.
175 Charlie Foxtrot, ready to copy.
I Charlie Foxtrot, cleared from Bowling Green Airport to Midway Airport as filed, maintain 5,000, departure frequency 133.65, squawk 1531.
Alright, 175 Charlie Foxtrot, cleared to Chicago Midway as filed, maintain 5,000. Departure frequency 133.65, squawk 1531.
5 Charlie Foxtrot, read back correct, hold for release, advise everyone for departure, change advisory frequency cleared.
Alright, roger that. We'll call you back for release 175 Charlie Foxtrot. Alright, guys, so we got the clearance 1531.
205, verify you're on the
And
northbound transition, sir.
We're going to be altitude reporting. There we go. 5,000 is our departure altitude, so we'll set 5,000 in our altitude window there.
205, stop your descent, you're about to bust the MEA, maintain 7,000, please.
Alright, 5,000 is set, and 3365 on comm 1531. It was as filed. Alright, so we got runway heading in there. We'll see if he gives us any instructions for after departure. Otherwise, I think we'll just plan to make a turn on course and join our flight plan. Alright guys, we are
3 Golf Hotel
ready
Radar
for
contact
departure.
25 northeast of Harrisburg. Sorry, Harrison, viewer.
Oh, we'll pull
Cruiser
up to the
5, blow
line
out to
here
the door.
and we'll
Check
call it
out
back.
immediately. MEA in your area is 7,000. Advise you climb and maintain 8,000, please.
Somebody's having trouble with some instructions. We'll give him a second here.
225, please stop your descent.
Somebody's really struggling somewhere.
Busting the MEA, please stop descending. Maintain 7,000. We're issued the landing north transition. You're on the landing south transition for some reason. Please maintain 7,000 and you can expect vectors through the 1-8 localizers.
TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot's ready for departure on the ground at Bowling Green.
I try flash, I'll hold for release.
Roger.
205, verify you're climbing above 7,000, please.
Yep.
FedEx 205, turn left, heading 360. Vectors for the approach. You expect vectors through the 1-8 localizers.
Yeah, somebody's having a hard day in Memphis.
851, plane ILS 20 left. Plane ILS 20 left.
Alright, expecting 20 left, American 851.
Captain frequency Memphis 8 is Zulu, now current Memphis altimeter 29908. Fly Charlie Foxtrot release for departure time 1654 Zulu, void if not off by 1710 Zulu, if not off by 1710 Zulu, device's frequency of attention is no later than 1715 Zulu. Call me this frequency reaching 5,000.
Alright, we'll call you back. This frequency reaching 5,000, released for departure, 175 Charlie Foxtrot. Alright guys, we're released to go. Alright, we're going to switch back over to advisory. Confirm we got a clear approach path. Clear down our runway. We're going to light up the airplane. And pitot heat and stall heat protections come on. Bowling Green traffic, TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot departing runway 21 for a north departure, Bowling Green. Here we go, guys. Alright, it's been a minute since I've flown the airplane. I gotta remember this thing's got a lot of torque roll and a lot of P factor, so you gotta be nice and smooth, but also assertive as needed on the rudder and the aileron. Make sure we don't over torque the engine. Here's prop governor advancing to take off power. There it is. Gauge is green. Airspeed alive. 80 knots. Rotate. Positive rate, 0. Flaps up, and we'll make our turn on course. Go GPS nav. Bowling Green 175 Charlie Foxtrot. Off the departure end at 21, making a right turnout, departing to the north. Last call, Bowling Green. Alright guys, so we'll head back over to Memphis Center. Let's see, we'll go ahead and go into speed climb. Air correction and flight level change, as it's called in this one.
Delhi 11, Roger, runway 25, taxi off Fox Echo.
Alright, let's go autopilot on, yaw damper is on, and we're turning on course. We'll leave the inertial separator on since we've potentially got some
Cargo 51, quarter Little Rock
icing
VOR when
conditions as
able.
we
If you
climb
need a
up.
radial to intercept, let me know. Texas Cargo 51. After Little Rock VOR, intercept the Little Rock radio 089er outbound 12 DME to Kitsko. Cross Kitsko at or above 2,500 at Kitsko. Cleared ILS runway 22 left approach. Southwest 674, runway 22 left, cleared to land, wind 250
4 for 5.
He's much faster than you, and it makes sense to have the jet guy go in front of you when you're a little bit slower, so I'm sorry about that, but...
Memphis Center, TBM 175, Charlie Foxtrot, level in 5,000.
DC 6.
Nope, blocked them. Memphis Center 175, Charlie Foxtrot with you, 5,000.
Charlie Foxtrot, radar contact, climb and maintain level 20.
Climb maintain 280, 5 Charlie Foxtrot. Alright
Golf
guys,
Hotel, would you like at Fort Smith?
280 is set. We'll do
Golf
flight.
Foxtrot, roger. Okay, you can expect it from AU.
And we'll bring the speed back for not indicated airspeed climb. We'll do about 150 knots. See if we can get up above the weather a little bit quicker.
Your 1-1 advised, ready for departure.
Alright guys, we're going to come off the track IR. There we go. Now I can move my head around a little bit and look at stuff without having to move the camera for you guys.
Where are you, and what's your call sign?
Alright, and we are
56,
on our way to
38,
Chicago
that's
Midway.
66.
I think here within a couple of minutes we're actually going to be out of his airspace. We don't have any other controllers as far as I can see for the rest of the flight. So we'll probably fast forward through the middle of it. I do have a couple things going on here.
And Charlie Foxtrot, Indy's offline, radar service for radio change advisory frequency, we'll see you later, have a good day.
Freak change approved, and thanks for the ATC 175 for the Foxtrot Kitty. Alright guys, so we're in Indy's airspace already.
I'm gonna start descending you.
So we'll just head over to the Common Traffic Advisory since Indy Center is not online on VATSIP. And yeah, we're on our own from here. Alright, we'll go to flight level 280. Like I said, we're going to try to climb quickly, get through through the weather, up into clearer skies. It really hasn't been too bad so far, surprisingly. I was anticipating we're going to get some at least light to moderate turbulence. It's been mostly smooth so far. So, don't want to jinx it yet, but we might actually get a pretty good ride through this weather. Oh, there's a little bit of turbulence. I spoke too soon. And we could pull the airspeed back to 130 if we wanted to, if we need to get a little bit more rate of climb through these clouds. We could trade a little speed for altitude. Try to get above the weather. Let's see, and I exceeded one of my engine parameters. I'm trying to see what that is there. Oh, that's the cabin pressure rate of climb on takeoff. Went up into the red for just a minute, which is kind of odd. That seems like it's operating normally now. We're through 10,000 feet. We'll go ahead and turn the landing taxi lights off. And the strobes actually should have been on. That's alright. Sometimes it's nice not to have the strobes on through the clouds anyways, because they reflect back and into your eyes. Alright, we're breaking out on top of the cloud layer. A little bit of light chop, but nothing worse. I thought this little TBM would get rocked around pretty good in the weather, but not too much. It's always nice when that happens. I've been surprised when I fly the jet too sometimes. You know, you think it's just going to be super rough and you get into some weather and all of a sudden it's nice and smooth. Happens once in a while. It's not always the case. In fact, that's more the exception than the rule, but it does happen once in a while. It's always a pleasant surprise when the weather is not as bad as you think it's going to be. Let's see, speaking of which, can we turn... This should have next rad. It's not really painting much, just painting a couple of splashes of green. I feel like next rad in X-Plane has never been very accurate in terms of what the precipitation actually is. Alright, on our way. Now that we're up above the clouds, we didn't pick up any ice on the airplane, so we're good there. We can go ahead and close the inertial separator. Get a little bit more power at, well, it'll increase the torque a little bit, it'll also help the engine run a little bit cooler. Just gotta watch that torque as the inertial separator closes. That torque up here on the top gauge is gonna rise. Gotta keep it under 100%. So we'll bring our throttle back just a little bit here as it's climbing, so that we don't over torque the engine. I feel like more than any other turboprop in X-Plane, you really have to babysit this TBM to make sure you keep the engine parameters in the green. Alright, looks like the inertial separator is fully closed, so it's stabilized now, 94%. It'll gradually decrease as we climb. We'll add a little bit of power every couple of thousand feet. Alright, so going in Chicago Midway, so let's see, we're done with Bowling Green. Go ahead and close these charts now for Bowling Green. Let's pull up our arrival. We're flying the Fisk arrival into Chicago Midway. Alright, and we're doing the runway 4 transition is what's loaded. So I think that's going to take us out to Tinley. Or, sorry, to Cutler for our final fix on that. Let's see, let me just confirm that. There we go. So yeah, 4 left. Yep, out to Cutler. So that should be easy enough. Let's see. If we load the RNAV approach to runway 4, we might have a transition. Maybe not. Let's see, does the RMP have a transition? Off of Cutler? It does not. So, I think we'll just plan the regular RNAV approach there. It'll be a vectors to final anyways. Down to 86%, we can bump our torque here with the engine thrust lever back up, keeping it just under 100%. And we're coming up on 18,000 feet, so we'll go to our standard baro. 2992, set times 2. Okay, let's see, we're also going to need our airport diagram once we land in Chicago. And we're parking down here at this FBO, I think it's Signature, down here in this corner, so 4 right will be fine. We might do a short field landing in the TBM, we'll see if we can make Kilo. This airplane might be capable of a short landing like that. If I fly it right. Let's see. Let's go ahead and get the we'll get the approach loaded. Let's just see if there's any update to the weather in Chicago. No, it's still pretty much the same. Winds 010 at 9. So yeah, runway 4 is the better option for us, unless we see traffic going to a different runway. Let's get the approach loaded into our flight plan. So we'll go procedure. Select approach. We're going to fly the RNAV, runway 4. RNAV Zulu, runway 4, LPV mins, that's what we want. And we're just going to go vectors, because we're not flying either of the transitions. And the minimums for this approach, our aircraft is LPV capable. 869, so rounded up, that'll be 870 feet for our minimum altitude. 870 is set, and it is loaded into the flight plan for us. Alrighty. Now let's get up to altitude. We'll cruise for a few minutes. We'll probably fast forward through a cruise section. Just looking at my emails real quick. So we've had a heck of a couple of days. I think I mentioned it in my live stream yesterday, but the morning after I got home from my last trip, we discovered a water leak in our apartment, in my roommate's bedroom, and it looked like it had been going on for at least a little while. Anyway, so we've had carpet cleaners coming in today, and then I guess we got somebody coming tomorrow to actually, like, you know, because we had to pull up the carpet in the corner. Well, not us, but maintenance had to pull up the carpet in the corner, so, yeah. Anyway, so we've had a lot going on with that. But, yeah. Always fun. That stuff happens. I've been lucky though. I haven't really had any significant issues at apartment complex I've lived in. This one was thankfully relatively minor. You know, they were able to get the leak fixed pretty quick. The leak was coming from a right next to our apartment unit. There's a little fire department closet, you know, that has the water pipes for like the sprinkler system and stuff. I guess one of those pipes had a bad fitting, and so it was causing just a little bit of leak. But they were able to get that repaired. So, now just to get the carpet repaired, and hopefully we can get back to normal. Schnitzel, what's up, man? How are you doing? Let's see, we can bump our engine torque up a little bit. Did you see the Airbus announcement? Which one? I might not have. The first hydrogen aircraft. Nope, I did not see that one. Let me look it up here real quick. 27 for 28. Altitude selector is armed. I'm just looking it up right now on the Airbus website. Airbus and CFM International to pioneer hydrogen. Here, let me read the whole article. Pioneer hydrogen combustion technology. Okay, so they're actually going to go combustion, so, you know, actually burning it as a fuel. I've often wondered, you know, if that would be a feasible possibility. So, I mean, in theory, hydrogen, you know, when hydrogen burns, you just get water, you don't get CO2. So, yeah, that would be a pretty cool technology to be able to implement. Alright, it's a partnership between Airbus and CFM, okay. So this is interesting. So CFM will modify the combustor fuel system and control system of a GE Passport turbofan to run on hydrogen. Okay, that's cool. The engine, which is assembled in the US, was selected for this program because of its physical size, advanced turbo machinery, and fuel flow capability. It will be mounted along with a rear fuselage, mounted along the rear fuselage of a flying test bed to allow engine emissions, including contrails, to be monitored separately from those engines powering the aircraft. CFM will execute an extensive ground test program ahead of the A380 flight test. Oh, very cool. Oh, they did fly today. I didn't know that. Well, that's legit. That's a leap forward for aviation and, you know, environmental friendliness. Let's get a little flyby shot of our TBM cruising through the skies. A lot of crosswind. Check that out, man. We're just getting blown sideways. Got, well, not too bad. 68 knots of crosswind, and when we got a 25 knot tailwind component, we'll take that. That'll help us get there quicker. Alright, now that we're established in cruise, oops, I got audio delay again. Give me a second, guys. Over and over, I have to resync that. It's driving me crazy. I gotta update OBS again. There's a new update today. Whatever their last update did, it screwed my audio up like crazy. Anyways, now that we're up at cruise, let's see if we can, we'll do a little time compression. Speed up to Chicago O'Hare a little bit. Yeah, the two, oh my gosh, I got lag again. Hang on. Hate having to do it this way. We're just going to go through the listen to yourself through Windows in order to get the audio. Yeah, the TBM's really sporty. It's a lot of airplane to handle. I actually screwed up my start today. I forgot one of the limitations on start when you bring it up into low idle. You got to wait until you get up to, I think, 56% on the NG before you bring it up to high idle. And I brought it in just like a second too early, so it gave me a warning because I got the ITT up. It was less than a second, but it was up at the red line for about half a second during my startup. So I gotta brush up my procedure. I've bought the airplane and I haven't flown it for I don't know, probably 5 or 6 weeks. Seems like. You flew on one? Nice. Yeah, I've never ridden a TBM. I rode an airplane that was similar to it. I rode on right seat on an Epic LT once, which is like it's kind of like the TBM, maybe just a little bit bigger though. A little sleeker looking, but that was a fun airplane to take a ride on. It was really fast. Just like the TBM is. Yeah, honestly, if there's an airplane if I could choose one airplane that I could just have as a general aviation airplane, it'd probably be a TBM, because they're very capable. You know, you can cruise high and fast and cover a lot of distance in a short amount of time. But you can also get in and out of really short, small, tight airstrips And the thing only burns, you know, what, 50 gallons an hour of Jet A. They're super capable. He sat next to the pilot, friggin' millionaires. Oh, nice. Yeah, I love the TBM. Yep, very slick. You know, when you can get a single engine turboprop to cruise at over 300 knots, it's a slippery airplane. Alright, looking at Chicago Midway, so we're flying this arrival. We need to go through the altitudes here. That's an expect altitude. In fact, all of them, most of them are expect altitudes. So we need to actually go through, and I'm going to bring us off of time compression while we do this, but we're going to go through and input these altitudes into the flight plan. So we've got our VNAV profile set up. Fisk is the first one at 11,000. We're expecting, or we're joining it at Fisk, so that's the only one we have to worry about prior to there on the transition. So Fisk, 11,000. You would get lost even with LNAV. You know, the funny thing, I still think navigating in the air is so much easier than navigating on the ground. I have no problem navigating in the air, but taxiing around these busy airports, I mean, I'm not bad at it. You know, I've never really had issues, but it takes me longer to figure out what I'm doing on the ground than in the air. Same is true in a car. I'd rather I have a hard time navigating on the ground in a car without GPS, or a lot of time studying a map. Alright, let's see, we got Haley at 6, Fisk at 11, and then we're flying this transition, which doesn't have any more altitudes for us. So I think we're good to go with just those two altitudes. So our descent profile, this airplane can descend pretty steep, and honestly the rides are better in altitude. So I think we'll do like a 3.5 degree descent angle. It should be plenty within the you know, descent capabilities of this airplane. So we'll go with that. And that puts us about 6 minutes from our top of descent. You would be bored and overworked at the same time. Yeah. It's a good way to describe being a pilot, you know. I'm bored and I'm overworked. Don't get me wrong, I do love my job, but there's a lot of the truth. Only legends taxi at O'Hare? Well, I do it almost every week. I don't consider myself a legend. There's kind of two rules of thumb at O'Hare. Number 1, listen to the controller. Number 2, don't stop traffic. Especially on taxiway Alpha or taxiway Bravo. Alpha goes clockwise, Bravo goes counterclockwise around the terminal in the middle, and don't stop. They don't like that. I've been in Chicago O'Hare a few times where it is so busy that they don't even have you read back your taxi instructions. They just tell you what to do, and they expect that you heard it and that you're gonna do it. It's hilarious. Only changing planes at O'Hare is worse. Yeah, that's kind of true. Depends on what concourse you're going to and from. I've had to make the trek all the way from the far end of the C gates to the far end of the L gates, and that is a solid 25-minute walk at a brisk pace. It's a long one. So it's always fun when company gives me an assignment or reassignment where I have to do that. Alright, well, so much for having a smooth ride up here at altitude. We might start our descent pretty quick, actually. Yeah, this ride just turned to crap. We're going to go ahead and start descending. Let's see, so we'll set 6,000 was the bottom altitude on the arrival. Let's set 6,000 in the altitude window. We're going to vertical speed down about 1,000 feet per minute. We're just going to try to find some smooth air if we can, because this ride is turning up into moderate chop at this point. So we'll go 1,000 feet per minute down. We're going to arm VNAV in case we happen to intercept our VNAV path. We can do that. And let's shallow up our profile since we're starting down early. I'm going to bring this up. So what we'll do is right here where it's 3.5, we'll bring it back to 3. Just so it's a little bit shallower since we're starting down earlier anyways. Yeah, we're getting rocked around. Question, altitude and temperature impact performance. I know the numbers, but can you feel the power increase, decrease? I would say yes. You don't necessarily feel it like as you climb. Really the only thing you notice is, you know, your rate of climb gradually decreases as you increase in altitude. But this is actually something you can try whenever you fly on the simulator on X-Plane. Because accidents happen because airplanes didn't pay attention. Yep, it happens. So a good experiment for you. This is something they did with us in my initial ATP training that was very eye-opening about, you know, the aerodynamics of high altitude flight. Take an airliner like a 320 or 319 if you got the Tullus at 5,000 feet. See how fast you can go from 200 knots up to like 300 knots. And then take it up to, you know, 300, 350 and do the same thing. Notice how much longer it takes. You know, down at low altitude, you can do it in under a minute, you know, a few seconds. Up at altitude, it'll take you like 15 minutes. It's ridiculous. That's probably the biggest eye-opening thing that they showed me, you know. Getting low and slow at altitude can be very dangerous because, you know, you might not have the energy you need from your engines to be able to get enough, you know, kinetic energy if you get slow, and you risk a stall or a slow speed upset because of that. Now, in terms of like takeoff performance, you'll definitely feel that as well when it comes to altitude and temperature. So density, altitude impacts on performance. You'll notice that too when you go to a high altitude airport. You can sometimes take 3 or 4 times more runway on a hot summer day at a high elevation airport. You can take 3 or 4 times more runway than you would at sea level on a standard day. That's true of pretty much any airplanes, but even, you know, especially jet airplanes are actually pretty heavily impacted at high altitudes. So you do have to watch that runway distance. That's why Denver has like, you know, 13, 14,000 foot runways. You know, they sit up at about 5,000 feet, and those big jets need that much runway on a hot summer day to get airborne. I had one time, the first time that I ever really got nervous with regards to density altitude. I was flying with a friend. They owned their own airplane. I was flying down. We just went down to a different airport to get fuel in the Salt Lake Valley. We landed at an airport called Bountiful Sky Park. And I had been in and out of Sky Park before, so I was familiar with it. And we took the airplane in there. Their airplane is actually pretty good performance. It's a little Grumman Tiger, and it'll, you know, it usually takes off and climbs quite well. But we landed at Sky Park, just me and, you know, this friend that I have. We fueled up the airplane because they had cheap fuel in Sky Park, and then we were going to fly it back to their home airport. And taking off out of Sky Park, you know, there's a little bit of a displaced where the taxiway intersects the runway, you lose about 500 feet unless you back taxi. But it was really busy, so we didn't back taxi. So we've had, 4-ish thousand feet of runway. Should be plenty enough for a single engine piston airplane normally. Those things get off the ground usually in 800 to 1,000 feet at sea level. But yeah, 4,000 foot runway. We got airborne and we started climbing, and it took me all of about 2 seconds to realize how bad the climb performance was. Because, we had the airplane, we weren't even close to gross weight, but we had fueled up. Temperature was like 90 degrees, and there were some power lines off the end of the runway, which normally when you climb out, you don't even notice them, but we weren't climbing super fast. I could tell that we were just going to clear the power lines, We ended up actually, clearing them by probably 50 to 100 feet, but, the performance was noticeably less. It made me nervous, so it was eye-opening. It was pretty early on in my flying career that happened, but, it showed me just how much of an effect density altitude has. Saw the A380 take 4,008 meters in Munich in summer. Yep. Well, you'd actually be surprised. I think jets are more affected by density altitude than a lot of props are. Props in general just don't usually have the power to weight ratio of a jet airplane, though. So you do have that going for you. Some do, though. If you get a powerful prop, they'll get up and go pretty quick. Alright, we're on the VNAV path now. It seems like we found some smooth air, so that's good. Let's see, as we come down into Midway, let's refresh our weather here. Altimeter 29er73. Alright, we got 2973 set. We'll set it times 2. And since Chicago's pretty busy airspace, we'll turn our pulse lights on. Make ourselves visible. Let's see, and I'm just going to take a quick look at VAT Spy. Do we have any other inbounds to Midway? Nobody close. So I think the airport's going to be all ours. A few up there in Chicago O'Hare, so I'm going to make sure to stay out of their airspace. We'll stay south, it shouldn't be an issue. You asked because you were surprised an A380 takeoff weight would use 800 meters more on a summer day than winter. Yeah, it's significant. Temperature has a really big impact on aircraft performance. Hot temperatures, high density altitude, not good. There's actually a really good video. I don't know if you follow Mentor Pilot on YouTube. Probably about a month ago, he had it's an incident, like an incident review, or kind of telling the story when the incident happened. It was in 747, taking off out of Athens in Greece, and they had a really close call. They had an engine failure on takeoff. Yeah, you saw that one? Yeah, that was holy cow. That would be eye-opening for sure. I would not want to be in that situation. That was it's a good learning lesson that we can all take away from that, though. The margins of performance. 43 degrees Celsius. Yep. All three of the functioning engines on that 747 were huffing and puffing with all their might. Well, maybe it's not too bad up here in Chicago. I'm seeing some gaps in the clouds. So, might not be too solid overcast. Alright, so let's see. I never did figure out exactly. I'll look at my app on my phone here, see what the FBO is in Chicago Midway. There were some more incidents with the 747. Okay, I didn't know that. It'd be interesting to look up, but sounds like Boeing was a little too optimistic with their performance on that airplane. Their performance figures.
Vertical track.
Vertical track. Let's see here. It's, I'm sorry, we're parking at Atlantic is the FBO. So that's on the south side. So we'll see if we can do a nice short field landing here in this TBM. Let's get that power back. That's why I prefer Airbus. I couldn't tell that you liked Airbus. Or you've never showed it to me, Schnitzel. Just kidding. I like Airbuses just because they're more comfortable as a passenger. Alright, coming through 10,000 feet. Let's see, it's on the vertical descent now down to... Or I thought it was going to be on the vertical descent. Okay, it leveled me off at 11, so okay, and then it'll make 6,000 feet at altitude. I see what the airplane's doing. Let's see, before we do end up in the clouds, and since we're on the descent, I'm going to go ahead and turn the inertial separator on, just in case we pick up any icing on the descent here in Chicago. Like I said, I was actually really surprised coming out of Bowling Green that we didn't pick anything up. But yeah, we kept the airplane clean. No ice. What's the bump on the left side wing? That is weather radar. That's where they put the onboard radar for this airplane. Just on the left wing. Is it Doppler? I have no idea. I couldn't tell you. They don't actually... that's something I hope they can bring into X-Plane 12 someday, is the ability to have like onboard radar. At least some kind of simulation of it. But yeah, you can Google it. Look at it. I couldn't even tell you on the Umbra. I'm assuming it's Doppler capable. But I don't know for sure. I know it works well. It paints the thunderstorms. Which, speaking of which, so my last trip was interesting. It's day one. We were super delayed. We were going down to Miami, Florida. We were delayed because our inbound airplane was late. And, you know, it's wintertime up here in Ohio where I live, super cold, and I was like, well, it's, you know, cold down in Florida, and I didn't see anything on the radar. I'm like, you know, I thought, okay, good, there's no weather in Florida, you know. But of course it's Miami, so a thunderstorm has to pop up. So thunderstorm pops up, sits right over the airport, unbeknownst to us while we're on our 3-hour flight, you know. We get down there, we see some big clouds on the horizon. didn't think much of it. You know, it's common for storms to form, you know, off the coast as well. You know, obviously over Florida too. But anyways, then we hear him start putting airplanes into holding in front of us, and we're like, uh-oh, you know. Sounds like that weather is actually having an impact. So we ended up having to go into a hold. Thankfully, our dispatcher was smart, and they had given us, you know, a fair amount of fuel. So we weren't, you know, didn't have that issue of hitting bingo fuel or anything. But, you know, still had to go through all that thing. We ended up holding for, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes, and then we were able to continue on the arrival and get into Miami. But it's just funny, you know. The back of my mind before takeoff, I'm like, oh yeah, it's wintertime. Of course there's not going to be a thunderstorm in Miami. There was. So we went straight from winter in Ohio to 80-degree humid summer thunderstorm in Miami. Very stark difference. Then, of course, so we swap airplanes, get ready to go on our next flight. We're going to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And it took us about an hour to get fuel on the airplane. So we had the passengers loaded up. We were expecting, you know, just to get in and out real quick because we were delayed coming in. So, of course, our outbound flight was already delayed. So, you know, we thought, get everybody off, get the passengers on, we're going to get fuel, we're going to get out of there. But, you know, the fuelers were so backed up because they couldn't fuel during the thunderstorm, and then, you know, they're understaffed, and it's Miami, so it's always busy anyways. And yeah, it turned into a fiasco. Had to wait it out. Ended up getting to, I think by the time I got to the hotel, it was like 2 a.m. in Tulsa. Watch for condensation in the fuel tanks. Yep. I believe it. Especially when you get that humidity like that down there in Florida. You know, the air's just has so much moisture in it, it's very easy to get condensation. You can see it too, like on my post-flight walk around, you know, the whole airplane, outside of the airplane, because, you know, the airplane's obviously air conditioned inside, and it's been up at, you know, cruising altitude at high altitude where it's relatively cold. The entire outside of the airplane was just covered in condensation. So I could see that being an issue in the fuel tanks as well. So, yeah, I did most of my flight training in Utah, and it was very rare to get water in the fuel when you're sumping it. The only time you really got water in the fuel in Utah is if you actually had a leak, like in your fuel cap. But, you know, humid climate, that happens a lot more. Alright, let's see. Vertical tracks, we're going to be on our way down to Haley at 6,000 feet. And we're going to try to do this quickly. I've got to finish making my lunch. I've got food in the crock pot here. So we're going to try to hurry through this arrival. Get down there. See how quick we can get this little TBM going on the descent. Up to but not exceeding red line. Actually, we gotta keep it under 250 knots. Yeah. More aquarium than aircraft. Yep. Oh. Hang on, guys. That did not intercept my VNAV path. Let's intervene. Let's rearm VNAV. There we go. Did you see? Oh, I did watch the spider video. That was freaking hilarious. I had seen it, but it had been a while. Oof. Yeah, no joke. Just sitting right there over the guy's head. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that would freak me out. I'm not even really arachnophobic, but that would make me afraid. Having a huge spider like that sitting right over your head in a little airplane. Alright, through 9,000. Alright, we already got the lights on. We're going to try to do this relatively quick. Once we get down there, I'm going to take a look. Zoom out just a hair. Ah, it's so hard to click buttons in this airplane. There we go. It's taking forever to load the map page. There we go. So what we'll do, once we get up about right here, just past the waypoint there, we're just going to go direct to like the final approach fix, or the fixed final, prior to the final approach fix. And I'll try to get in there. How often do I encounter Cat 3 conditions? Not super often. Actually, in the years, in the 2 and whatever years I've been flying the jet, I've only ever had to shoot one Cat 2 approach. We actually don't have Cat 3 capability on our fleet. We only go up to a Cat 2. But yeah, I've only ever actually had to shoot the Cat 2 approach once in real world conditions. 7 for 6. I've seen it. It's pretty common to see it get down, about 300 feet. Ceilings, or, that's just the visibility where you pick it up. I've seen that quite a few times. Getting below 200 feet's not super common. Or, below about a half-mile visibility, but it does happen. In doubt, just toga. Yep. Usually what happens when there's low visibility, more often than not, especially if it's a... just a tip, yep. More often than not, when there's low visibility conditions, especially going into a big airport, we'll get our release, and usually after we get loaded up, whatever, we'll end up having a edict time or expected departure clearance time. So they'll hold us on the ground wherever we're at instead of having us take off and then have to hold. So usually by the time, when conditions really get bad, usually by the time we're actually getting airborne, that's given time for the weather to clear up and visibility to improve anyways. So. Alright, so let's see, looking at the approach here, what we're going to do is, after we get past waypoint here, the final approach is sit go, so we'll go direct to KDON, and yeah, that should make life easy for us here. Hopefully it'll let us do that without too much issue. We'll go a couple more minutes here on the arrival before we go direct to KDON, but got 18 knots of headwind now. I don't like headwind. Here, we'll fast forward here just a little bit for a few minutes. Like I said, I was trying to keep this one relatively short just because I've got food stuff I gotta go do here in a minute. Apparently it didn't like it. My frames dropped when I did the little fast forward there. We're gonna do it again. Try to speed it up a little bit. okay for now. Alright, that should be good there. Give it a second to think. There we go. Alright, so we're going to go direct to Cadon, and we'll start our descent down to 4,000 feet. There it is. Direct. Activate. And let's set the altitude selector down to 4,000, and we'll let it VNav down to Cadon. Fuel imbalance, apparently it doesn't balance or it doesn't switch the tanks whenever I do the ground speed acceleration. Alright, we got that set. We're going to go VNav. Oops, don't over torque the engine. Bump the throttle there. Okay, so fuel imbalance, what we can do is we can just go up here. Let's see, which is our fuller tank right now? We got more fuel in the right, so we'll come up here, and we're just going to hit the shift button. That should shift our fuel selector. There you saw it was on the left, now it's on the right. So we're burning fuel out of the right tank. That should help us equalize our fuel here as we start coming down. Alright, we'll make an initial radio call for Midway here. Like I said, I don't think there's anybody real close, but there might be. Just in case there is. Yeah, there's nobody else really close by. As far as I can see.
Vertical track.
Chicago Midway traffic, TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot is about 15 miles to the southwest. We'll be inbound, landing runway 4 right, Midway. Five for 4. Alright, let's get zoomed in a little bit here on our map. Oops, that's the wrong way. There we go. Alright, it's going to make our turn on the final approach. We're going to set the altitude bug down to our final approach fix, which is 2,400. 2,400 feet is set. And now we're going to go ahead and start slowing it up because we're getting pretty close to our destination.
Landing gear.
Keep it just above the landing gear warning if we can. We're going to VNav down and we're cleared for the approach, so we're going to arm up approach. Glide path is active, just like that. Now let's see if I can get slowed down quick enough. Chicago Midway traffic, TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot on a 10 mile final, landing 4 right, Chicago Midway. Alright, she's slowing up nicely, should be no problem I believe. Let's see, speeds for gear were 178 as well as flaps takeoff configuration. And 122 for full flaps. So we're already inside of that speed. We should be good. We'll have no problem getting this airplane slowed down for landing. Alright, inertial separator is on. We got that set. We got those on. We're going to bring the lights on. We'll turn pulse lights off. I guess we can leave them on. It's daytime, really, but... Alright, everything else is set. Landing field elevation's in there. Pressurization is coming down nicely. Throw the gear down. Who needs them flimsy doors? Well, those flimsy doors help you get the 300 knots out of the airplane. Nice little clean aerodynamic profile. Let's see. 2,600 feet is our missed approach altitude. We have 2,600 feet set for the altitude selector for missed. We are dropping frames. Please don't quit on me. Come on. Alright, what's hogging my resources today? I feel like there's something else hogging my resources. No, not really. Well, yeah, Windows is doing crap in the background, that's why. Yeah, it doesn't help. Alright, gear, flaps. Let's go gear down. Gear down. There we go. I was gonna say that gear is very quiet. It just wasn't coming down. There it is. Let's watch the speed here, make sure we don't get too slow. Got about 3 miles to go to the runway. Go ahead and turn the track IR on. Let's get that reset. Oh, it is a Doppler in the TBM. That's cool. I didn't know that. Like I said, it's a capable airplane. It's really kind of a mini airliner in a lot of ways. Alright, speed checks. We're going to go full flaps. Gear down. 3 in the green. Lights are on. Pressurization is set. Let's get the power set. Nice stable approach. About 95 knots is where I like to be. Chicago Midway traffic, TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot, 2 mile final, landing 4 right, Chicago Midway. And we're in and out of the clouds. I hope we break out here for our minimums. We might have to push that toga button. My crock pot meal might have to wait. Alright, 500 stabilized approach. There's our runway in sight. We're landing. Autopilot's away. There she is. The low, correcting it. There we go. Alright, we're going to try to land short and just make that first taxiway. Let's see if I can do a good short field landing here. Put it right on the numbers. We're a Part 91 op today.
Airspeed.
Just like that. That's how it's done. Oh, I just realized I had been calling out 4 right. We totally landed on 4 left. So that's what the transition called for, but that's alright. Or no, it wasn't. Yeah, that was the right runway. Let's pull up my airport diagram. Maybe I'm just all sorts of turnaround here. No, I'm good. Yeah, that was 4 right. I was like, I could swear. Yeah, 4 right. For a second, I thought that was having me cross the runway back there, but no, we're good. Chicago Midway traffic, TBM 175 Charlie Foxtrot, clear the runway. I don't know exactly where the FBO is in real life. I thought it was like somewhere down here. Maybe it's over there. Actually, yeah, it's probably over there. We'll park over here anyways, because that's where I am, and I don't want to look like an idiot. Just kidding. Alright, guys, here we are. Bring the lights off, flaps up, trims back to takeoff position. Rudder, trim, and pitch. We'll set the brakes here. And we'll turn all the lights off. That's right, I did have a button bound to the pulse lights. Alright, that's all good. Let's see, we're going to turn these off. Oh, come on. There it is. And bleed comes off. There we go. Alright, now we're shutting her down. Alright guys, welcome to Chicago Midway. Thanks so much for following along with this flight. It's pretty fun, you know, just a quick little one. Doing some GEA flying through some weather. If you like the content, be sure to follow me on Twitch. Lets me know what content people like, and we'll see y'all next time. Have a fantastic day.